Welcome back to Call for Help, starring Roger Chang. As you know from watching the show, Roger and I and Kat and Brett, and we all recommend Spybot Search and Destroy to weed out spy and adware. I like to call it adware because spyware is kind of a negative, but to weed out the stuff that has the ad stuff from your system that potentially could spy on you. Spybot's now even better with its most recent update, and here to walk us through it, once again, the lovely Roger Chang.
Yeah, Rose by any other name, though.
Would smell as sweet. Well, I'm not going to say anything about that. But now, when did they update Spybot?
Spybot.
Recently.
Very recently.
Okay.
Maybe in the past month,
okay.
month and a half. What it does is anyone for those who may not know, Spybot goes out and actively peruses your system to search for spyware, or adware that is hidden on your machine from websites.
We got tons. Now, this is cookie tracking.
These are cookies. These are trackers that websites use to find out your particular preferences.
Now, you're going to get these just by going to any website that has, say, a double-click ad banner on it. This isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not. But for those who are exceptionally paranoid or just don't like all the stuff floating around that they don't want or need, it's a good way to remove it.
At least you know it's there.
Now, the newest update includes numerous features that are actually really cool, not just for finding spyware, but for doing some other things as well. And one of the cool things that you'll notice, first of all, is an immunize feature. Now, the immunize feature, like a vaccination that you get at the doctor, will protect or load into your system all the profiles of things it should block.
So it will keep spyware from being installed.
The ones that Spybot, the guy who, or Patrick, who wrote it, knew about at the time he wrote it.
That's awesome.
So those, if you click on immunize, it will go through the system, and all those 150 bad products that it knows about that exist currently are blocked from your system.
Does that mean if I use some shareware that uses bad banner ads or adware, that that program's not going to work? Or I won't be able to install it?
Well, that's kind of a thing you need to know about.
That's the flip side.
That's the flip side, because when you launch it, it actually pops a little box that says, you must be aware that certain applications require spyware or adware to be running in the background in order to function properly.
Now, in defense of these applications, let me explain why this started. People wanted to give you freeware, but they wanted to make some money on it. Shareware wasn't working. So what they did is they put banner ads in their programs. We've all seen programs with banner ads in them. In order to make those banner ads work, you have to have some way to track clicks, otherwise they don't get paid, and maybe to update them. That's when this ad software got installed, and the idea was it would keep track of all that stuff, but it doesn't go away when you uninstall the program.
And the controversy has snowballed ever since.
Yeah, because it's not clear what information it's sending. Some programs may send a lot of information.
You know, there's a good and a bad, and everyone basically assumes, err on the side of caution, just have it all off. Some really other nice features are including the locking the host file.
Very good.
This is a list that is used by your internet browser to block specific websites, say pornographic sites or gambling sites or sites that you don't want to see. Sometimes other sites might introduce other sites that you do want to see, but they just block because they're their competitors.
Right. So this prevents that.
That prevents that. Lock your home page so a page can't hijack it, and you can actually set it so other people can't monkey around with your settings when you're not there.
Okay.
Nifty settings include, if you go into settings, in the settings tab and then the settings option, you actually have your standard kind of, do you want it to run at full throttle, or do you want it to start up when Windows launches? A bunch of kind of user-defined options. We'll go into file sets, and this is very important for people who are used to Spybot actually cleaning out all the old documents from your history, all the Word documents you opened up or whatever applications you ran. You actually need to check these three items first: the system internals, usage tracking, tracks.
So this doesn't do it by default anymore.
It used to do by default.
It won't do it unless
you check these. And this is basically anything that could be used by a system or another person to find out what you've been up to. I don't really think it's an issue, but some people are a little concerned. So if you want that, you can make sure that's checked. Exclude. Now, remember we were saying that certain applications need spyware to run? This, in the exclude, you actually can select those specific items that Spybot will skip over and leave installed on your machine if you know beforehand that you need to have it running for a specific piece of software to run.
So you can kind of enable or give permission for a certain program.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about it deleting automatically. We go to Tools. Now, this is really cool. Remember what he said about what the host...
This program's amazing, for free.
Yes. Remember what I said about the host files, what it does? Well, Spybot, Patrick, who wrote Spybot and Search and Destroy, not Patrick Norton, different Patrick, he actually included his own kind of host list file of all the sites he knows of that will introduce or have some sort of download that might either put your system at risk for adware, spyware, or virus or Trojan.
And he basically blocks those sites by pointing to a non-existent address.
Exactly, so you won't have that issue. So you just click on Add Spybot's Search and Destroy host list, and it'll install that in your host list file. We're
out of time. There is so much in this program. We could go on and on. There are two ways to use it, in basic mode and expert mode. A lot of this you'll have to go into expert mode to see.
Now, expert mode, again, is for experts, so if you know what you're looking for or you know what you want to block, it's a great way to do it. If you're kind of new to it and not sure, just use the beginner mode until you feel comfortable.
It works fine. But do get Spybot Search and Destroy. It's from Cola. Patrick Cola is his name. .security.de. Security.cola.de. Versa versa. If you missed anything, we do have a long list of all of this stuff at techtv.com/call for help. Good job, Roger. Thank you. Coming up, Kat's on a first-name basis with the Highway Patrol in 6 counties. Why? Well, because she's got a glove box full of traffic tickets. She's going to show you how to pay them off online. Stick around. We'll be right back.